Good evening, everyone, and thank you, Priyanka, for joining us today for the third edition of Digipub Week. So, Priyanka is, as you all may know, co-founder of the Good Glamm Group, and it all started about 9-10 years ago, right? I mean, with the lifestyle blog eStylista, and then came the whole influencer bit, and now everything that we know about the Good Glamm Group, the acquisition, and now the unicorn that the company is. So I want to start out with you talking to us a little about what it was like back then. How big influencer marketing and content was, and what were the kind of brands that were able to notice that this is something huge and something that can be leveraged.
Hi guys, thanks for having me. So just to clarify, when you say back then, exactly how far back are you asking?
With the fashion lifestyle blog that you had.
Okay, so well, that was very brief. It actually became Popxo, which is the brand that we all know now. So when Popxo started, influencer marketing didn't even exist. So influencer marketing came many years after Popxo, right? So Popxo was a community and a digital destination where women could read the best content. Indian women could read the best content, the most engaging content. So that's basically how we started. And of course, brands were working with the publishers at that time. They were probably not working as much with digital publishers as they are now, but it was kind of starting out right now, right back then. And then in 2018, 17, 18 is when we noticed influencer marketing becoming a thing, which is when we launched Plixo, an influencer marketing platform. And that scaled up really well. In 2020, Popxo had 60 million monthly active users across platforms. Plixo had 60,000 influencers on its platform. And then we got acquired by a makeup brand called MyGlam, right? And then collectively, Popxo, MyGlam, Plixo, all of us became the Good Glamm Group, of which I was elevated as co-founder. So that's kind of been the quick my story in a very, very short nutshell. Yeah, so back then brands were investing some, not as much as they are now. Influencer marketing was was nascent when we started Plixo. But as you know, today, both content marketing and influencer marketing form a really large kind of piece of the marketing mix that brands use to reach audiences.
And how did you see brands benefiting once they began either leveraging influencer marketing or taking the content route?
See, look, brands need to reach their users, right? And brands need to reach their users where users spend their time. Users spend all their time on their mobile phones and on social media platforms. So brands need to be talking to the users on the mobile phones and through social media platforms. That's where Popxo comes into play, right? We have an extremely large social media presence. We reach our users where they are, and we are able to talk about brands in a context, in a way that users find engaging and interesting. Right? And that's a whole definition of content marketing. Similarly, for influencers as well, users love following influencers. They listen to what influencers say, and brands recognize that, which is why they invest in getting influencers to talk about them. And that's a very effective way to kind of create deep and engaging conversations with users about the product that you're selling.
And so therefore, does the customer acquisition cost also reduce once brands take the content route to commerce?
So look, customer acquisition cost is a blend of so many different things, right? If they are if it's a brand that is not a good, it doesn't kind of sit within the Good Glamm Group, they're going to pay us to create the article and for the reach that they want. So of course, I mean, it's going to only add to their CAC because they're paying a third party platform to do it, right? But at the Good Glamm Group, because we have our good brands, which are beauty and personal care brands, we also have Good Media, which is a collective of digital media platforms in India, and we have our Good Creator Co, which is where all our influencers are sitting. So for the Good Glamm Group, we are really able to use the power of content and the power of creators to dramatically reduce the CAC for brands within the Good Glamm Group. But that is because the Good Glamm Group owns all three channels. We own our brands, we own the digital media platforms like Popxo, ScoopWhoop, MissMalini, Baby Chakra, and we have our Good Creator Co app, on which through which we track 1.5 million creators across India, right? And hundreds and thousands of influencers already onboarded onto the app. So because of that, for the Good Glamm Group, we're able to use the power of creator and content to dramatically reduce the CAC for our brands that do commerce, right? But that is the mode that we have as a Good Glamm Group. Any external brand wanting to leverage Popxo's audience or reach or ScoopWhoop's audience reach, they are paying for it, right? So at some level for external brands, I mean, content marketing would add to their CAC. It wouldn't really reduce it. And which is how, frankly, all other brands are marketed, right? So they do not use content as an organic channel because they can't, they don't have the audience.
Right. So therefore, having the content channel as part of your entire strategy and within that group is what gives you that edge in comparison to competitors who might still be D2C, but don't have the whole content, channels available to them.
Absolutely. Look, the Good Glamm Group is a content creator commerce. We follow the content creator commerce philosophy, right? We truly believe that that's the flywheel that actually gives us our edge. That is our moat. We'd like to own the channels of user acquisition, which are our content platforms. We'd like to own the channels of amplification, which are our creators, and kind of funnel them through to our own brands that we own as well, right? And which is where we see the most effective way and the most cost-effective way of actually reaching consumers and dramatically cutting down CAC.
And you mentioned cost effective. Is this also because reaching these customers is also becoming expensive through your traditional digital marketing channels, because there is so much clutter? Everybody, there are so many D2C, say beauty, personal care brands in that space, or brands that are targeting even men right now. So because of that clutter, reaching these customers who might be searching for your brand is getting expensive.
So definitely for brands who are not within the Good Glamm Group, it's expensive and hard, right? But within the Good Glamm Group, because we have our top funnel of 200 million users sitting across Popxo, ScoopWhoop, MissMalini, and Baby Chakra, reading all kinds of content, a small, tiny percentage of them get shown the brands that we own, right? So it's actually a very, very natural and organic way to talk to users. So users come for all the general content that we create, and we then show them contextual insertions of our products in a way that's helpful to the user. That is the best way to actually create digital content for a brand that actually has can cater to an intent to convert to buy, right? Which is really hard. So I wouldn't like to comment on how other brands do it, or who are not within our group, or how it works for them. But we've kind of been doing this for many years. And when Darpan and I first started talking, we truly realized that the problem that the DTC brands had was that they had a great product, they knew how to sell, but they were not able to reach audiences. It was expensive for them to market, right? And for content platforms like Popxo, we had a large audience. We knew how to create great content, but we were not able to actually monetize that reach. So when a digital platform like Popxo came together with a makeup brand called My Glam, we were able to solve for both of the kind of the pain points that commerce and content had, which is what started kind of the entire story of the Good Glamm Group, right? And then on top of that, we added the power of influencers. And we were able to actually send our products to influencers and get real orders from them, right? So that's how content creator commerce was actually born for us at the Good Glamm Group. And once it kind of began working, we saw a lot of investor interest. We were able to actually raise a sizable amount of money through 2 fundraisers. And then we decided that it's time to actually use this content creator commerce flywheel for other brands within the beauty and personal care space, which is when we then went on to acquire Mom's Co, Sirona, Organic Harvest, Saint Botanica, and a bunch of other brands that we're still talking to right now, right? And the magic that Popxo and Plixo were able to do for My Glam, which is basically reduce CAC and increase sales, right? We're doing that for all other brands that are within the Good Glamm Group.
And can you also talk to me a little about this whole house of brands concept also that seems to be tied into it, right? So there are several brands that are within the My Glam Group, which leverage the various content channels that you have. So how crucial is it now to, diversify, add? So it began with brands that are maybe targeted at women. Now you have babies and moms also in the fray, and hopefully men later on. So is this expansion something that you are looking at?
See, look, I mean, it's a simple, for entrepreneurs, it's a simple question, right? Do you want to build one brand that's kind of valued at 100 million, or do you want to build a bouquet of brands that valued at 100 million each, right? So the answer for us is obviously the latter. So we generally believe that we have a user acquisition funnel and a user conversion funnel that is unique to us, and that can actually be leveraged across a whole bouquet of brands, right? Which is what basically powers our ambition to be a beauty and personal care conglomerate that has not only that has makeup brands, personal care brands, skincare brands, hair care brands, catering to different kind of price points and to different user aspirations, right? And really try and own that entire market by creating this content creator commerce funnel, right? So we are a house of brands, and we are proudly a house of brands. And I think it's kind of a way that large digital led conglomerates of the future are being built. And MyGlamm is obviously at the forefront of that. The Good Glamm Group is obviously at the forefront of that.
And can you talk to me a little about how having a house of brands does one of the brands from the group, tend to benefit from just being part of this entire group? Are there any synergies that take place? How does it work?
See, look, basically, ultimately, it's a user who benefits, right? Because she actually gets access to a whole bouquet of brands across the different concerns and interests that she might have. For a brand within the Good Glamm Group, not only does the brand get access to a fantastic technology stack, right, which is pretty one of the largest stacks any DTC brand or house of brands has in India today. They get access to our 30,000 plus points of sale on the ground. So our distribution network on the ground is really massive as well, right? They get access to platforms like Popxo, ScoopWhoop, MissMalini, and Baby Chakra that have millions, 200 millions users sitting at the top of our funnel, right? And then they get access to our immense creator network, right? For any individual brand to build out all these assets would be very expensive and very time consuming. So once a brand joins the Good Glamm Group, they get they come within our ecosystem, right? And they're fully kind of onboarded, and they're able to leverage the strengths of the ecosystem to dramatically do what they do best, which is build great products and build a great brand, right? And also a Saint Botanica user who's buying a shampoo is also a Sirona user who's buying a menstrual cup, is also a MyGlamm user who's buying lipstick, right? Is also a Momsco user who's buying body butter, right? So our users have multifaceted needs and requirements and desires and pain points. And through the kind of the bouquet of brands that we have within the Good Brand scope, within the Good Glamm Group, we're able to cater to all of them. So that kind of interchangeability between users is also very, very important, as is building out each brand to be a $100 million brand in the future.
And how does the whole offline bit, fit in when a consumer is taking that content to commerce journey? How does it work? So content to commerce within the digital ecosystem is easy to understand. How does the offline bit play in?
So look, at the Good Glamm Group, we take an omni-channel approach, right? Omni-channel means that we are present wherever the user is. Not only she's spending most of her time on her phone, and thank God for that, but she's also going to her local market. She's going to the Kirana store. She's going to shop in a mall, right? So we want to be present at all the touch points where a user is actually spending her time. So which is basically what gives birth to the omni-channel approach. Now, whether if a user is coming in through social media, that's one kind of channel that we have, and then there'll be a user journey that will be kind of attributed to that, right? If a user, for example, is coming across one of our products in her local store, or if she's coming across her products in one of her local malls, the moment we know who the user is, she gets onboarded within our system, right? And then she starts getting CRM messages that it kind of it starts with an offline touch point, but very quickly we get her into the digital world, and we kind of give her her online identity as well. For example, she's gone to a counter, a MyGlam counter in Shoppers Stop. She's picked up a lipstick. At that point, our beauty advisor is there and takes her details down. And then she starts getting messages and kind of content from us saying, hey, you just bought this lipstick. Let's show you how best you can use it. These are the 10 looks you can try with your lipstick. So the idea is to recognize that the users are coming offline as well and come up with clever strategies and ways to actually bring them within the Good Glamm Group digital fold as well, right? The other thing that we started right now is the Good Points loyalty program. So it's a first of its kind loyalty program that cuts across all parts of the Good Glamm Group, from brands to content and to creators as well. So a user could be reading an article, getting good points for that. Once she acclimates enough good points, she can actually convert them for a Saint Botanica shampoo or a MyGlam lipstick, right? So the idea of rewarding every action that a user is taking within the Good Glamm Group, giving them good points and allowing them to exchange that for products that she might want, that is actually fairly revolutionary. So, and that's another way that we kind of are able to really build out this omnichannel strategy. So if she's bought something in a shop, in a mall, right? It's a MyGlam lipstick, or she gets points for that. And in order to convert those points, she again comes down to our app and gets something in exchange for that. So there are ways where the consumer who buys her products offline, how can we bring them into kind of the life cycle of a digital user and engage with them even after their purchase journey ends, right? Which is really important. And digital became exciting because it allows brands to connect directly with consumers, which was very hard before DTC started. And at the Good Glamm Group, we're innovating ways to even include the offline consumer in the same journey as well.
That's fantastic. The point you mentioned about the loyalty thing, points, etc. Is that also a way to ensure that the customer stays within your ecosystem, in that they don't head to an Amazon to buy it, or a different marketplace to search for these products and buy them, but come to your D2C platform to purchase them?
See, look, our Indian consumers are very, very savvy. They like getting more for more, right? So if you're going to buy a lipstick, why don't I get good points for it? Maybe I can exchange those good points for another shampoo or a cream, or maybe I can even exchange that to get my favorite influencer or creator to wish me happy birthday, right? Because within the Good Glamm Group, we have an access to content platforms, and maybe you get enough points and Popxo will wish you happy birthday, right? Or a creator will. So we are able to offer ancillary benefits to our users that extend beyond the usual couponing or discounting strategies that other brands follow, right? So we're really trying to build this engaging world, parallel world for our users, where they really enjoy reading content, watching our videos, engaging with our influencers, and shopping for great products within the Good Brands company of the Good Glamm Group.
Got it. And I also want to understand, you have a huge network of offline stores as well. And once you built that out, have you seen any change in people buying these products more offline, or what's taking place?
See,
or
honestly,
are you just
that
adding
makes
more consumers?
So that mix kind of remains the same, and each channel continues to grow. What's really helped is kind of the ads that we basically put out, right? So we started off with Shraddha Kapoor. She became an investor in the Good Glamm Group, and she became the face of MyGlam, right? Recently, you must have seen Kareena Kapoor in the Saint Botanica ad, right? So it's really exciting to see celebrities whom we know and love to be the faces of brands that we own. For me personally, that's kind of a really fantastic things to see, right? And that has a huge benefit, not only online, but also offline as well, because it increases brand recognition for a consumer who might not, for some reason, have come across our brands online. So I think it's important to build out all channels, and each channel continues to scale and grow. But at heart, we are, of course, a DTC led strategy, and digital is massive for us.
Got it. And I also want to understand, so the whole content creator ecosystem that's there in India, there are, right from the nano and micro all the way to whatever macro and mega, and and stuff like that, and the kind of content they create across these various tiers that are there are not necessarily of the same tone, the same quality all the time, and things like that. So how hard is it to choose the right kind of content creators to be part of your ecosystem and create content for you so that the brands can eventually leverage them?
So yeah, the Good Creator Co. We are powered by one of our platforms that we own called Viduli. So Viduli is kind of the best in class data tracking technology stack that's out there. So through Viduli, we track 1.5 million creators right from across all tiers, right from kind of nano to mega and celebs. We know exactly what content they're creating. We know exactly who's engaging with the content. We know whose engagement rates are high, whose engagement rates are low. So the idea is not to look at its content as good or bad content. The idea is to look at it from the lens of data and really try and understand, okay, this might be a nano creator, but she's really powerful in creating argan oil shampoo content. For some reason, her micro kind of following is really relating well to that. So let's maybe give her that. So because at the Good Creator Co, we have kind of the power of Viduli behind us, we're able to actually track millions of 1.5 million creators and then segment them into meaningful cohorts through which we're able to see who's engaging, who's not engaging, who's engaging for whom, who's engaging in which geography, in which territory, in which kind of area or locality, if you will, and which brand do they work best with. So, I mean, again, to your point, it's not about good content or bad content. Creators are good at creating content to which their followers respond to. That's what a creator does, right? So I might think it's good, or you might think it's good, or we might not think it's good. It's immaterial. Their followers have to think that it's good. And at the Good Creator Co, we want to be kind of the backbone of the Good Glamm Group in a way that we are able to identify and match the cohort of creators with the brand that we're trying to kind of help promote, right? And we do it through data science, and we do it through technology, which is the scalable and the best way to do it. And of course, we're able to do that effectively at the Good Creator Co, because not only do we have Viduli through which we're data tracking, one of our acquisitions was Winkle, best in class creator management kind of technology stack that's out there. So, and that's kind of sitting underneath the Good Creator Co app right now. We also have Plixo, which had kind of thousands and thousands of, tens and thousands of creators, 60,000 when we got acquired, who were already onboarded onto Plixo, who are already getting campaigns through Plixo, right? And of course, that number has grown up to 200,000 today. So because we are able to kind of put this firepower within the Good Creator company, right? And track millions of creators, we are actually able to solve the kind of question that you asked. How do brands know which creators will work for them? But we do that through data, and we do that through technology.
That's great. That's fantastic, right? So, I mean, that eventually answers the question that we started out with for today is, how do content and commerce really work together? And I think you've explained that superbly. And I'm sure our audiences have learned and found this chat to be insightful.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for your time.